Can you get through a day without being critical of yourself? Well, maybe you're thinking, hey, everybody pretty much does that, right? Well, according to my next guest, it doesn't have to be that way. Now, she says that self-empowerment can be achieved when you change the questions you ask yourself. Isn't that interesting? Now, she is the author of a book called Supreme Influence, Change Your Life with the Language You Use. Would you please welcome to the show, Niurka. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
So
it's so good to meet you.
So great to be here.
So before we talk about the book, what does Niurka mean?
Niurka is a term of endearment.
Is that what?
Yep, name given to me by my parents, just a term of love.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so the title of your book is called The Supreme Influence. And so how do you define that? What do you mean by that?
The word supreme is the most empowered, authentic you. See, everyone has brilliance, every single one of us. I mean, we look at you and we say, wow, Marie is so brilliant, and and you are.
Yeah. I was just thinking your eyes are.
Thank you.
No, your eyes are gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And everyone has brilliance. Everyone has a unique gift. So supreme is referring to that, and then how we bring that gift into the world is what I call real influence.
Interesting.
And when I say when you have real influence, it's when you have inward fluency.
Okay, so I know that's all talked about, but I would bet you most people really don't feel highly of themselves. I think we live in a world right now where we always go to the negative. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you change that? I mean, the news, every place. With this show, I try to bring in positive. I just think, how do you change that? It's everywhere.
You change your language and you change your life. So you begin to have an elevated conversation with yourself. And as you begin to ask yourself more empowering questions, and as you begin to become even mindful, not just of your language that you speak, but your body language, you know, the language in your own mind, then new possibilities become.
So give me an example. What do you mean the language? So take something in your mind that would be negative and then change it to positive.
Yeah, so let's say that someone is saying in their mind, gosh, why is this happening to me? Mm-hmm. Just by shifting the language of saying, okay, what's the gift here? Or what can I learn from this?
Okay, so what's the first step? How do you understand the question that you're asking yourself?
First, you got to be aware. So you want to honor whatever's coming up for you. Be aware of what you're feeling. Be aware of what's happening within your own body. And then from that state of awareness, get curious about it. You know, a lot of times what happens is people try to resist the things they don't want. But if I say get curious, I mean literally like go, put it into your body and go, what else could this mean? What,
right.
You know, what is the gift or where's the opportunity in this?
Yeah.
And then from that place, you begin to communicate with yourself first. It's like before you communicate with someone else, before you communicate with your partner, with your lover, with your girlfriends, you communicate with you.
Right.
What's most important? Mm-hmm. What's the highest choice?
Okay, so you talk a lot in the book about programmed thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, explain that.
Well, most psychologists agree that by the time a child is 8 years old, they've had over 25,000 hours of linguistic programming.
Isn't that crazy?
So it's like words have been downloaded into our minds, imprinting our minds with ideas about who we are, what we can and cannot do, ideas about money, ideas about relationships, ideas about love, ideas about marriage, ideas about who we are. So, you know, what this book, I wrote it as a journey of awakening. So we wake up from these old programs and we begin to get curious about them. We say, is this really my belief? Is this really true? Where did this belief originate? And as we begin to have that.
So is this kind of like the law of attraction? It sounds like it is, you know, quantum physics, all those things that we read about out there. So are we changing it for ourselves by how we think?
We are. Actually, law of attraction is a secondary law to the law of vibration, which means everything in the universe is energy. And it's always vibrating. You're a vibrational being, I'm a vibrational being, and that...
Good vibration.
Exactly. And that what we attract, what we experience is what's in alignment with our vibe. So it's like if someone walks in the room, you could feel their vibe, you feel their energy. So as we begin to ask more empowering questions, as we begin to, you know, tune into our own body, then we begin to elevate. We move from frequencies, let's say, of like fear, doubt, insecurity, up to
the negatives, to the
love.
positive. So for just really quick, what's a really good solution? How can somebody start right today to better their lives? First step.
First step, honor where you're at. Don't resist it. Get curious about it and begin to ask a better question. And as you're asking that better question, look up, put your shoulders back. And you do that naturally. For you, it's a natural action, it seems. You know? but begin to have an elevated conversation. Instead of, why does this always happen to me? You know, where's the opportunity here?
I couldn't
Where's
agree.
the gift here?
So become positive.
Become positive in that.
Hey, and here's a positive thought. Everyone in the audience gets her book. Niurka, thank you so much for being here, and thanks for your
Marie.
insight. No, I'm all about positive thinking and ways to rethink what's out there, and how we can empower ourselves. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
You're welcome.
All right,
Thank
stay with
you.
us. We'll be right back.
Coming up, a final thought with Marie.